Hey guys, Tubbi and Nilly site, kicking it with my boy Nilly. We came to kick the real thanks to theantidote.com. Now, there's a lot of controversy going on with a lot of things in the world, but right now we're going to take a moment to the NFL. A lot of the protests and the way that people feel about the right to protest, the way that you're supposed to be able to protest, the way that the commissioners come out and, you know, the way the president has said how he feels things should be handled in regards to being a black man in America and having to deal with a lot of the backlash that you do, not only as an artist, but just as a person. How do you feel when you look at your brothers in the entrepreneur field standing up for the things that they believe in, standing up against social injustices, standing up for a better tomorrow, and kind of being belittled or sought after because of it? How does it make you feel? What's your take on it?
The way I see it, you know, your right to peacefully protest, that's constitutional. You know, you have the right to do those things. There's no rule in place for the NFL to be like, you can't take a knee. That might be in other sports, but there's no rule for that. So if there's no rule against that, you know, I don't see anything wrong with it. But like a lot of things in society, people try to take your intent of doing things and twist it. Oh, they're anti-military. Oh, they hate the flag. No, it's not about that. It's about bringing awareness for some of the things that have been going on in our community. So I feel like there's a lot of people who take that as like, oh, you hate the military. No, nobody ever said that. You hate the flag. I never said that either. I'm just using this opportunity to bring awareness of the injustices, the countless injustices every single day of unarmed African American men and women. And it's just not African American people, it's just people of diversity in general. It's just people being treated horribly by law enforcement or by people of different socioeconomic backgrounds. We live in a world today, factual, that our President of the United States calls NFL players SOBs, but calls neo-Nazis fine people. That is the world that we live in today. So I'm all for it. I'm all for any type of awareness of social injustice, any type of awareness of pointing out people who are being mistreated, because at the end of the day, we're all one people and we need to be viewed as such. So yeah, I'm with it.
Right. Now, coming into, I like the fact that you kind of led into your take with, you know, how Trump is dealing with certain things. We know after the breakthrough with some of the hurricanes and a lot of the storms that have passed and the devastation that was left behind, Puerto Rico is very much so a part of us, a part of the United States. You know, we have to do our best to make sure that they're okay too.
Right.
Recently, there were a lot of memes and video footage and a couple of articles that have hit the social media streams as well as the internet, breaking down the behavior of our president. He kind of, if I'm not mistaken, took some paper towels that he was handing out to those in need and made it a game. He kind of started playing ball with the paper towels. What's your take on that?
Well, I actually I watched a good bit of it, and I heard the comments that he made. Now I'm from New Orleans. Actually was relocated out of New Orleans to a different area because of Hurricane Katrina.
Right.
So I understand those displacements. I definitely understand that. So not only do I feel like the president was belittling by making giving goods to people in need, making it very trivial with jump shooting and things of that nature, but if you look at what happened, he actually said, he made a reference to Puerto Rico not being a real storm or something like that, and he referenced Hurricane Katrina, saying thousands of people died, and in Puerto Rico only like 16 people died, which is crazy to me, because as our commander-in-chief, you're supposed to be, people are supposed to take refuge in what you say.
Right.
Like, people are not supposed to
feel
belittled by what you say, because your words are no longer a representation of just yourself. Your words are representations of everybody in the nation. So, I mean, am I in favor of what Trump is doing? Absolutely not. You know, but now it's my job to, you know, what can we do as a people to make things better, because Trump is our president until he gets impeached
Or his turn, whatever happens.
Yeah, it is what it is. But we still got to do our part. Because it's one thing to say, okay, Trump, he speaks negatively about these people and he's not the best president. But in your everyday life, you judge people every single day, or you treat people differently.
Right.
What makes you different
From him?
Yeah, so of course I disagree with the majority of what he's doing, but at the same time I use that to be like, well, let me check what I'm doing, because everybody has some type of influence on people's lives. So what am I doing to make things better than make things worse?
I love that.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna, I guess, lighten it up just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
The preseason for basketball. I'm a huge basketball head. Played in high school, and I know that you're a basketball fan.
Definitely.
So they've created these staggered rosters. In preseason, everybody's trying to see how is this gonna work, how is it gonna turn around come the season, if it's gonna cause any conflict. How do you feel as a fan about that?
Okay, so first of all, the Cleveland Cavaliers have a stacked roster. From top to bottom, they basically have 2 starting fives on their teams. And even without Kyrie being on Boston, you got the Golden State Warriors, who are who they are. But the team that I am most interested in watching this year, H-Town, the Houston Rockets. Chris Paul is my favorite.
Right.
That's my favorite.
Started out at home.
Started out in New Orleans. I played varsity basketball in high school, so I know how that goes. I was always the shortest kid, so I always watched Chris Paul. So now that Chris Paul has James Harden and Trevor Ariza, Eric Gordon, Ryan, all these great shooters, because if anybody's watched preseason basketball, Houston Rockets, they shoot it better than anybody else, and they shoot it, and they shoot it till they can't shoot it anymore. That Mike D'Antoni offense. So the Cavs and Kyrie and Boston and Golden State, they'll get all the headlines. But what I'm most excited to see is how the Rockets are going to take it. Also, shout out to Oklahoma City with Russell Westbrook being joined by Paul George and Melo. We'll see what happens with that situation. But I'm rocking with the Rockets because I rock with Chris Paul.
Exciting! Can't wait to see what the NBA has to bring this upcoming season. I'm excited to see how this is going to play out too. Initially, I was kind of doing the comparison check, and it's like, is this like playing my JV versus my varsity? We gonna see what happens. We'll see how it goes. Now, before we get ready to wrap up, we're gonna play a little game. A good friend of mine suggested it a while back, and I think that it's dope. It's called Association. Basically, what happens is I'll drop a bunch of names and places, be that local or mainstream, and you kind of have about 3 seconds or so to give me a word that you feel best fits to associate with that person or place. You wanna play?
My song.
He's okay. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
You ready?
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar.
Peace.
TheAntidote.com.
Important.
The Bando.
Great.
The Nerdy Bird site.
Important.
VH1 signed.
Influential.
Hold that thought. Donald Trump.
Nah.
Let's see. Rick Ross.
Boss.
Fade the Flow.
Inspire.
LeBron James.
Goat.
Kyrie Irving.
Dang.
And Jamel Hill.
Trendsetter.
There you have it, guys. How fun was that? Your girl Tubbi of the Nerdy Bird site, right here kicking off with TheAntidote.com. Thank you, Nilly, for coming through and sharing your insights, inspiring your audience, and dropping some knowledge. You guys make sure you stay tuned in right here with us as we kick the real.